Good morning, everybody. We've got a side project. We're working on another trailer, my trailer. I sold my other car trailer that had those custom ramps for it, which worked really well and I liked them a lot. But I sold that when I moved out of the Army. Anywho, I have a new trailer. It's got regular pull-out ramps that squeak incredibly loud when you pull them out. So we're gonna make some foldable dovetail ramps that can fold onto the trailer when you're not using them, level out the dovetail, and then fold off so you don't have to pull and squeak them out every time. So that's the plan. Let's get to it. Just for reference, let me show you what this sounds like, and I'll turn the audio down because it's rough. And you may be wondering, why don't you just clean underneath the slides and, you know, spray WD-40 on there, or maybe add a barrier so it's not metal on metal. Those are temporary solutions, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a permanent fix and make ramps off the dovetail. Okay, to make this happen, gonna reuse the old ramps. These already have some angle irons, so we're gonna go ahead and cap that off. The ramps are then gonna ride along this tube. This is 1.5 inch through tubing. Then we have some 3" by 1/8" scrap, and that's gonna be the support to hold the 1/8 inch tube. So overall, it's super light duty. It's nothing crazy, but it will be able to support the weight of a car pulling onto the trailer. So yeah, that's the goal. And I think the best way to explain the rest is for me to build out one side completely. After that side is built out, I will show you building the other side. So okay, 20 minutes later, and we got a prototype rocking and cooking right now. Let me show you guys. As you can see, we've got the walls to that 1/8 tubing going on both sides. Bottom of this has a piece of scrap DOM from a roll cage, actually, that's gonna hold the whole, you know, ramp together. But as you can see, it can slide all the way to about half of the trailer. There'll be about a 6" gap in the middle, but the ramp should cover that. So it folds about vertical, maybe, you know, 85 degrees, close to vertical. So I'm gonna go ahead and weld some chains onto the side of this, weld some catches for the chains right here, and then we can have some hooks to hold the ramps up just like this. That way they don't bounce around on the vehicles that are gonna go there. I thought of that as I was building it and seeing how far up I want it to mount the ramp guides. And I remember I had an issue with like anything not off-road related. Like, you know, I don't give a shit if the ramps bounce on the back of like something like this, but on a real car, you don't want heavy metal ramps bouncing against the plastic. So yeah, so we're gonna go up to 90, put some chains on it, secure it in place, and that should be the way it works. Like I said, dead stupid simple prototype. I was gonna build some 90-degree gussets going down to the ground, but I think these ramps are actually much more sturdy than I thought they were, with them being C-channel, diamond plate, probably 3/8 inch. So yeah, I'm actually not even worried about building any kind of support gussets that go down from the ramps themselves. So I'm gonna leave them just like that. And then if I do end up breaking or bending anything, I'll weld those gussets in afterwards, but I don't think it's gonna be an issue. You know, based on my jumping measurements, I think it should be fine. The only small issue I could see as arising is, you know, there's a probably 3 or 4 inch gap right there. So, you know, depending on how low a car is, if I mean, I don't own anything low, but if I did put a low car on it, that would probably be an issue. But for my purposes, it shouldn't matter whatsoever. And then you always can put a piece of 2x4 wood there if you really need it to. So I'm not worried about it. For me, that's gonna be the perfect quick solution. So that's how that side looks. Okay, so working on the other side, first step's to cut a square that's gonna go on this plate over here. That's hot because it was in the sun. Second step's gonna be cut this square that fits right in there like that. So that's how those two work. Gonna zap that one on fully, tack that one in place, tack another guide rail in place, and get the other ramp steady. quick video done. I've got the ramps in place and secured. This is like trailer chain that's just welded to the ramps. They sit about 60 degrees ish. Kind of just guesstimated it. They sit just so when you push these all the way up, you have some slack to take the pins off. That's how they sit though. One thing I'm planning on doing that I'm probably not going to record in this video, to be completely honest with you guys, is I'm going to add a triangle gusset going from right here into this corner right here, and that's really going to stiffen up that sidewall right there. That way there's no flex, especially where the ramps are hanging and where when the big cars go on the trailer, they roll up the trailer, since the ramps are going to be at the widest section. So I want that to be structurally sound. So that's more than likely going to be gusseted. I'm not going to do it right now, since I ran out of scrap steel, and I don't want to use that C channel since I didn't use it. I'm just going to save it. So not going to do that right now, and that's going to happen in the future when I go buy some more steel. So for the time being, I'm going to spray these all black, and we're going to call these ramps done. They should work well enough to come all the way in, allow like little Z-turns and lawn tractors to come on here, as well as full cars. So I'm stoked with it. As you can see, when the chains are on, they do sit at a little bit of an angle. Let me show you guys. So they're not perfectly straight, and that's just with the wiggle room inside the guide rails. But other than that, I could really care less. So they're on, and the guide rails are there and welded in. So it's just me who knows why they sit crooked. Maybe people won't tailgate me because they think the ramps will fall off. But either way, they sit slightly askew, but I'm not too worried about it, like I said. So one thing I am worried about is these guide rails being too small. I said earlier, and I was misspoken, this is 1.25 inch Hooer tubing, not 1.5 inch, so it's even smaller than 1.5 inch, obviously. So I'm a little worried that those might bend over time. So if I do start to see some deflection, I'll go ahead. So that's how physics works, by the way. You know, it's a lever, like a seesaw. I just took that for a little bit of a ride, but I stopped it. So no harm, no foul. Where was I? Sorry, I get a little adrenaline flowing. Yeah, if I do start to see some warpage or deflection in these guides, I'll go ahead and build that triangular base off the ramps. That way the ramps take the weight of a vehicle loading, not the dovetail and the guide rails. So yeah, all future plans, if it needs to happen, it's going to happen. But for now, we're going to call this one done. No more squeaky ramps, you know. So that's it, guys. That's it for this one. Here's how those little dovetail ramps look, all welded on. And yeah, I'm happy with it. Should serve the purpose. Nice short little video. Next week, we will be back to our normal scheduled programming. Catch you guys later.